It was a quiet night at Earth Space Command Station Delta 9, floating above the dark side of the moon. Most of the crew were half asleep, watching slow blips on the radar. Nothing strange ever happened out here. Just the cold silence of space, but that night, silence broke. A low, pulsing sound came through the main receiver. It wasn't a normal signal. Not from Earth, not from any satellite, and not from any known ship. It was ... different, slow, rhythmic, like a whisper calling across space. Lieutenant Rhea Solis, a communication officer, leaned forward. "What is that?" she asked softly. Her screen blinked once, then twice. Then a message appeared in strange symbols. They moved like they were alive. "Commander," Rhea said, her voice shaking, "you should see this." Commander Bryce Holloway, an old officer with 25 years in deep space service, came over quickly. He stared at the screen, his face tightened. "Shut down outgoing channels," he ordered. "Do not share this with any other stations, not yet." Something about the message made his skin crawl. The signal was not for us back on Earth. In a secret underground lab in New Geneva, scientists tried to decode the strange signal. Top linguists, code breakers, and alien language experts were brought in. Within hours, they found something chilling. The message was a warning, not a greeting, not an introduction, not an accident. It repeated every 3 minutes. "They are coming. They do not stop. They do not fear. Run. Run before they see you." The signal came from far beyond the Milky Way, a dying system, a burned planet, no life left. But someone, something, had sent that message just before everything went dark. Captain Dorian Blake, in the city of Baltos Prime, a man named Captain Dorian Blake was living in retirement. Once a respected officer of Earth's United Defense Fleet, he left after a failed mission that cost many lives. Since then, he lived alone, watching the stars, waiting for a reason to matter again. One night, a friend from the Space Command sent him a secure file. It was the signal. Blake listened to it once, then twice. He didn't know the language, but he felt something in his bones. Fear, real fear. He opened the translation file. The words hit hard. "They do not stop. They do not fear. Run." "This isn't a warning," Blake said to himself. "It's a death sentence." Buried by government's world leaders were told about the signal. The United Earth Council met in secret. Many were afraid. Some wanted to prepare. Others said it could be a hoax. One leader, Chancellor Remy Das, said, "We must not panic the public. Not yet." So the warning was buried, locked away in top-secret systems. No news, no alerts, no public knowledge, but Captain Blake wasn't ready to stay silent. He sent messages to a few trusted allies from his old days, people he fought beside, people who believed in him. They came. Quietly, secretly, his old engineer, Samira Chun, ex-weapons officer, Taj Corvin, and a pilot who owed him a life debt, Leo Rains. Together, they decided to find out where the signal really came from. And what sent it? Mars. A new clue. The team hacked into deep space logs. Something caught Blake's eye. An unknown object had crash-landed on Mars, just days after the signal was received. It wasn't a comet. It wasn't space junk. It was a ship. And it wasn't human. Using old access codes, Blake's team got a small transport and flew to Mars. They landed near Sector 14, where the ship had fallen. What they saw shocked them. The crash site was surrounded by military robots' cleanup units. But they were destroyed. Something had torn them apart. Samira scanned the wreckage. "This isn't metal from any Earth factory," she said. "This is alien." Taj pointed to the ground. "Tracks," he whispered. "Footprints, but not human. 4 long toes, deep and wide. Something survived the crash," Leo said, gripping his weapon. The survivor. They followed the tracks into a nearby cave system. Inside, the air was cold, stale. Silent. Then, they heard it. Breathing. Something was inside. Watching them. Blake stepped forward. "We're not here to harm you," he said. "We got your message." Silence. Then a voice answered. But it was not in words, it was in their minds. "You should not be here. They will find you. They always do." A shape stepped into the light. It was tall, thin, and glowing slightly blue. Its skin looked cracked, like dry stone. Its eyes were black and full of sadness. "I am the last," the alien said. "They came to my world. We tried to stop them. We failed." Blake asked, "Who are they?" The alien paused. Then said, "They call themselves the Zalvar. They devour stars. They erase life, and now they know your name." The burned worlds, the alien, who called himself Sirith, explained what had happened. His people once lived on a peaceful world called HFY War, far beyond Earth's maps. They were explorers, scientists, builders. Then, one day, a black ship arrived. No words, no warnings. Just destruction. Thousands of ships followed. The XAL single quotes VAR. They burned cities, poisoned water, crushed defenders. They moved like a wave of fire, without mercy. HFY War sent the warning signal just before the end. Sirith was put in a special escape vessel, a living ship designed to reach far stars. It took centuries, drifting asleep in deep space, until it finally crashed near Earth. "I failed," Sirith said. "I was too late." "No," Blake replied. "You gave us a chance." The secret within. Back on Earth, strange things were happening. Satellites began losing power. Telescopes picked up odd shapes in deep space, moving in impossible patterns. Space stations reported strange flashes in the sky, but no one spoke of it. The government still tried to hide the truth. Meanwhile, Blake's team helped Sirith recover. He shared knowledge with them, ancient maps, warnings, and something more. A key. It was shaped like a small cube, glowing with a blue light. It was encoded with something powerful, coordinates to an ancient vault, hidden somewhere in the Mars canyons. Sirith said it was the last hope of many lost worlds. Technology, weapons, maybe even something that could stop the Zalvar. But only humans could open it. "I don't know why," Sirith said. "But you're kind, you are different." The vault opens. They followed the map through a massive canyon on Mars. There, they found a buried door made of a strange, black stone. Not even explosives could scratch it. Blake touched the cube to the door. It opened. Inside, the vault was filled with glowing symbols, strange machines, and a circular chamber in the center. They walked in. The machines activated on their own. Lights turned on. Holograms filled the air, showing other alien species, dead or dying, sending messages to whoever found the vault. Then a voice spoke. "You who opened this vault. You are the last hope. If the Zalvar come, fight. If they burn your sky, resist. They can be stopped, but only by those who do not fear death." Suddenly, the vault began to shake. A deep humming sound filled the room. A countdown appeared. 72 hours. What happens in 72 hours? Samira asked. Sirith looked at the clock, eyes wide with fear. They arrive. The end of the beginning. Back on Earth, one of the top satellites picked up something new. A ship, huge, dark, moving fast. Still far, but getting closer. A voice came from deep space. It was not in any known language, but it translated into one clear message. "Earth, we see you." Captain Blake stood at the edge of the vault, watching the stars through a cracked window. He whispered to himself, "They thought we were weak." He turned to his team. "But they've never seen what humans do when we fight for our home." Above Earth, a shadow grows high above Earth's orbit. Deep space telescopes watch the stars. One signal came from a satellite near Pluto, then another from Saturn's orbit. Then more. A ship was coming. It was massive, bigger than anything. humans had ever seen. 10 times the size of Earth's largest warship, and it wasn't alone. Behind it, hundreds of smaller objects followed, hiding in the blackness. Quiet, waiting. The fear in the room, in a secure meeting room beneath the United Earth Council. The top leaders sat in silence. The room was cold, lights dim. Faces pale. An AI assistant displayed the incoming fleet. Objects are closing. Current trajectory will reach Earth's orbit in 5 days. No response to our hails? Chancellor Remy Das asked. None. The AI replied. A scientist stood and said, "We've analyzed the incoming ship structure. It's made of neutron iron, nothing we can break. And weapons?" Someone asked. Another pause. "We don't know. But energy levels suggest planet-killing capability." Panic spread in the room. Someone whispered, "Do we surrender?" But no one answered. Captain Blake's warning far away, on Mars. Captain Dorian Blake and his team watched the same images from inside the alien vault. The countdown now read 64 hours. Beside him, Sirith, the alien survivor, stared at the ship with deep pain in his eyes. "They are the Zalvar," he said quietly. "They move like locusts, world to world. They do not take prisoners. They take ... Silence. Dorian clenched his fists. "Can they be stopped?" Sirith didn't answer. That was answer enough, but Dorian wasn't ready to give up. The Zalvar. A deadly Historicerith showed them more holograms inside the vault. Images of what the Zalvar had done to other planets. On one world, tall golden cities burned under dark skies. On another, forests melted into ash as black ships floated above. Each time, the Zalvar moved with precision. No communication. No reason, just destruction. They left behind nothing, not even ruins. They were not born to rule, Sirith said. They were made, long ago, a failed experiment. A living weapon that became a plague. Now they had reached Earth. Earth's leaders choose silence back on Earth. World governments still refused to tell the public the truth. They feared panic, fear, collapse. Instead, they prepared to broadcast a message of peace to the Zalvar. Video of Earth's best scientists, artists, and children. Smiling, Dorian saw the message during a secret link. He smashed the screen. "They're not here for friendship," he growled. "They're here to erase us." His team, Samira, Taj, and Leo nodded. "We have 60 hours, Samira said. Then they reach us." Mars Vault, human activation inside the vault. Strange machines responded to Blake's touch. Sirith explained. This technology was left by an ancient alliance. They hoped that, if the Zalvar spread too far, someone would be brave enough, angry enough, human enough, to use it. The machines tested Blake. Lights scanned him. Questions appeared in his mind. Then one word echoed from the walls. Accepted. Machines rose from the floor. A suit formed around Blake's body, sleek, light, and powerful. Blue veins of energy ran across its arms. "Bioenhancer suit," Samira said, eyes wide. This multiplies everything." "Strength, speed," thought. "You mean," Taj grinned, "we just got a fighting chance." The first encounter, too. Days later, a Zalvar scout ship entered Earth's orbit. Governments tried to hail it. No response. Then, it fired. A single energy beam destroyed a deep-sea base near Antarctica. Over 3,000 lives gone in an instant. Panic spread through the hidden channels of Earth's top brass. The public was still kept in the dark, but Captain Blake had seen enough. He took a stolen Earth War shuttle, loaded with alien tech from the vault, and headed to intercept the scout ship. The battle above Earth. As Blake's ship approached, the Zalvar vessel turned. It fired. Samira, controlling defenses, activated the alien shield system just in time. The beam hit but was reflected. Shock. Blake fired back using the vault's energy weapon. The blast pierced the Zalvar hull. For the first time, one of their ships took damage. The scout ship exploded in flames. A dangerous message before the scout ship died. It sent a pulse, not a distress call. A signal, Cirith gasped. They know you're not weak now, he said. Leo frowned. That's good. Right? Cirith shook his head slowly. No, that means they'll come harder. Inside the enemy ship, recovered debris from the wreckage. Blake's team recovered part of the Zalvar ship. They found a strange orb, a memory core. Samira connected it to the vault system. What they saw made their blood freeze. The Zalvar were not individuals. They were part of a single mind. A hive dot at the center was a being, the Zalvar Queen. Cold, silent, watching galaxies, like a farmer watching fields. She spoke through memory. We are the silence after music. The darkness. After fire, the end that must come. Earth. You are next. Earth's response for the first time. Earth's leaders realized the truth could no longer be hidden. The president of the United Earth Council made a public broadcast. To the people of Earth. We are not alone, and we are not safe. An enemy, unlike any we've faced, is coming, but we will stand. We will fight. People were afraid. Some cried. Others prayed, but many grew angry. Hope from the Vault. Blake's team returned to Mars to activate the rest of the Vault systems. There were more suits, more weapons, but only a few could use them. The machines tested everyone. Only those who passed could wear the alien armor. Leo, Samira, and Taj were accepted. Cirith watched from the shadows. He looked tired, fading. My time is ending, he said. But yours is just beginning. New soldiers, old spirit. Blake trained with the new tech. The suits bonded to them, learning, adapting. He moved 10 times faster. Punched through stone. Saw in the dark, but it wasn't just power. It was the feeling of purpose. Of standing for something. Maybe they came to erase us, Blake said. He looked at his team. But they're about to find out what humans do when pushed too far. Final warning in the sky. 5 more Zalvar ships appeared. They hovered, silent, watching. Then one message flashed on all Earth devices. You have touched what is forbidden. Now burn. The countdown reached 24 hours. The real attack hadn't started yet. But Earth was ready to fight. Cliffhanger ending. The deep sound as the team prepared for the next day. A strange deep vibration shook the ground on Mars. Blake looked up. The stars blinked. Samira stared at the readings. Something huge just came out of warp space. Not one ship, a whole fleet. The Zalvar invasion had begun. The sky that changed across every continent. People looked up. They didn't see stars anymore. They saw shadows. Dozens of black ships, massive and silent, now floated above Earth. Some hovered in orbit. Others entered the atmosphere, moving slowly, like hunters circling prey. For the first time in history, all nations stopped fighting each other. No borders mattered now. Earth was no longer a planet of countries. It was a planet preparing for war. And the Zalvar were watching. Inside the Queen's mind back on Mars. In the alien vault, Blake and his team accessed the captured memory orb again. It showed a terrible vision inside the hive mind of the Zalvar Queen. They saw billions of voices speaking as one. No love, no emotion. Only purpose. Life resists. Life grows. It must be erased. All stars must go cold. The Queen didn't attack planets out of anger. She didn't hate. She simply believed life was a mistake. One that she was created to erase. And now, her attention was fully on Earth. Captain Blake's mission. Captain Dorian Blake stood before Earth's newly united defense commanders. The vault technology had proven itself. The alien suits worked. The energy weapons functioned. But Earth had few of them. Only a handful of soldiers had been chosen by the alien machines. Blake, Samira, Taj, Leo, and 3 others. 7 people to face an army. Still, Blake stood firm. We can't stop the full fleet, he told them. But if we can cut off the Queen's link, break the hive's control, they fall apart. How? Someone asked. Blake held up a glowing data crystal. We know where she is, her core ship. We're going in. The core ship, the largest ship in orbit, was different from the others. Black, curved like a claw, it pulsed with a strange red light. Sirith, the alien survivor, pointed to it in the hologram. That is her. The Queen's mind lives inside. But no ship has ever returned from that place. Samira asked, can it be destroyed? Sirith nodded slowly. Yes, but not from outside. You must go inside and survive long enough to break her. The night before the mission, Blake and his team spent one last night on Earth. The world was quiet. The air felt heavy. Everyone knew what was coming. Some people gathered in streets, lighting candles. Others sang songs. Some cried. Others simply sat with family, saying nothing, holding hands. In a small bunker under the vault, Blake sat with Sirith. Why us? Blake asked. Why Earth? Why now? Sirith looked up at the sky, then at Blake. Because you still believe in something. That makes you dangerous to her. The invasion begins at exactly 3 o'clock GMT. The attack started. Not with bombs. Not with beams. With silence. The ships opened. Thousands of machines poured out, black, crawling fast. They didn't fly. They fell, crashed, rolled across oceans, deserts. Cities, humans fought back. But Earth's weapons barely slowed them. Missiles exploded in the sky. Lasers burned. Defenses fired. And still, the Zalvar advanced. Infiltration team launched while Earth defended itself. Blake and his 6 companions launched their ship toward the core vessel. The alien tech kept them hidden. Their shuttle, partly built from the Mars Vault technology, had a cloaking shield, something Earth engineers had never seen before. They slipped past enemy patrols. Then, they saw it. The core ship. It was like a floating mountain. A fortress in space. Mira whispered. We're not coming back from this, are we? Blake didn't answer. He didn't need to. Inside the hive they entered through a hidden port. Discovered in the vault's files, the halls were dark and alive. Walls pulsed like veins, lights flickered like heartbeats. Everything was organic, almost breathing. Leo checked his scanner. No life signs. But the walls are watching us. As they moved forward, machines began to crawl out from the shadows. First wave attacked, but the humans fought harder. Their alien suits reacted to every thought. Blake moved like lightning. Taj threw plasma grenades. Samira hacked the walls, turning defense turrets against their owners. They pushed deeper. The core chamber, after what felt like hours of fighting and running, they reached the heart of the ship. A massive chamber opened before them. Floating in the center was a sphere of red energy, pulsing, alive, inside was the Queen. Not a body, not a creature, but a mind. A living storm of voices in memory. She saw them. She spoke not with sound, but inside their thoughts. You stand against the end. You fight the wind. You delay the silence. You are brave. And you are fools. Blake raised the weapon Sirith gave him. A small cube of pure light. This ends now. The last fight, the Queen screamed. The entire chamber shook. Walls turned into claws. Floors melted. Machines attacked from every side. Samira ran to the core, planting explosives. Taj guarded her, burning down waves of Zalvar drones. Leo was hit, his arm torn, but he kept firing. Blake faced the Queen's projection. You're afraid, he said. No, she replied. I'm disappointed. She attacked. A mental wave of darkness slammed into Blake's mind. Pain, regret, doubt. She showed him his failures, the soldiers he lost, the people who blamed him. Give up, she whispered. You are nothing. But Blake stood tall. No, I'm human. And he fired the cube. The Queen's fall. The Explosion was silent. Light filled the chamber. The core cracked. The red energy turned white, then disappeared. Outside, all across Earth, the Zolvar machines stopped. They froze, fell, broke apart. The ships went dark. Some drifted, some crashed. The war paused. Not one, but paused. The price. Blake opened his eyes. He was alive. Samira pulled him up. Taj limped nearby. Leo was unconscious, but breathing. 3 others didn't make it. They had sacrificed everything to destroy the core, and now Earth had a chance. Across the galaxy far beyond, on a distant planet, another Zolvar ship received the death signal of the Queen. For the first time in 10,000 years, a Zolvar hive fractured. Some ships began to turn away, others prepared for revenge. The war was not over, but the impossible had happened. Humanity had done what no species before them ever could. The world reacts when Earth saw the enemy collapse. People didn't cheer. They wept. They screamed. They ran into the streets, hugged strangers, prayed, danced, fell to their knees. The night turned to day as light returned to the skies. For now, they were safe. Cliffhanger ending as Blake stood at the edge of the crashed hive ship. Sirith's last words echoed in his mind. This was only one queen. The hive has many heads. You've won a battle, not the war. Blake looked to the stars. They'll come again, he said quietly. Then he turned. But next time, we'll be ready. 3 days after the battle, the world was healing. The skies were clear. Cities were rebuilding. People called it the Day of Light, the moment Earth had survived something impossible. But for Captain Dorian Blake, peace didn't feel real. He sat alone at the crash site of the Zolvar hive ship. All around him were burnt remains of the machines. Cold metal, cracked armor. They're gone, people kept saying. But Blake knew better. He had learned one thing from the vault. The Zolvar hive had more than one queen. This battle was just the beginning. Samira's discovery in the Mars vault. Samira and Leo studied captured data from the core ship. One file refused to open. It was locked in alien code, far older than the Zalve R. Then, by accident, Leo matched a sound wave from the file with Earth's original deep space signal. The same signal humans had picked up months ago. The vault opened the file instantly. A new hologram appeared. A map of the galaxy and 6 red points. Each red dot pulsed slowly. One of them, Earth's, was dark, but the others were glowing. Samira stared. There are 5 more hives. A message from the stars as the team studied the map. A transmission came in from Jupiter's orbit. A private science station there had just received a new signal. Not human. Not XAL VAR. But ancient. They played it. It was a voice, rough, cold, alien. To the ones who silenced the first queen, we watched, and now we speak. We are the old guard. We remember what you forgot. Come to us, or die alone. Then, coordinates followed pointing to a planet near the edge of the galaxy. Taj raised an eyebrow. That's a trap. Samira said, maybe. Blake stood up. Or maybe it's a chance. Sirith's final recording before his death. Sirith had left behind one last message in the vault. It triggered when the second signal was received. He appeared in hologram form, weak but focused. If you've defeated one queen, then hope lives, but you cannot face the hive alone. Long ago, others stood against them. Few survived. One did. He is called Cryos. He hides where the stars turn red. The coordinates matched the transmission. Blake stared at the galaxy. Map. So far. So dangerous. But Earth had no choice. The team reforms only. 4 of the 7 had survived the last mission. Blake, Samira, Taj, and Leo. Now a 5th joined them, Dr. Ilara Venn, a linguist and alien historian. She had spent 20 years trying to understand non-human languages. Ilara was the first to translate. The new signal, and was also the first to say what no one wanted to hear. The Zolvar hive didn't start as machines. They were made by something else. And that something might still be alive. Her words shook the room, but the mission had to go on. The journey begins. Earth gave Blake one of its newest warships, U.S. Valor. Equipped with hybrid tech from the Vault. It had alien shields, faster-than-light jump drives, and stealth armor. But it wasn't built for long-distance war. They had one shot. As they prepared to leave, the president spoke privately with Blake. You're going into deep unknown. If you fail, Earth won't survive the next queen. Are you sure? Blake replied simply, I'd rather die out there than wait for the end here. The red planet Cryos. After 6 days of jumps through empty space, nebulous storms, and black hole fields, the Valor reached the edge of known space. There it was, a red dwarf star, and circling it, a dark frozen planet. Cryos. Sensors showed no atmosphere, no life, but strange energy readings pulsed from below the ice. They landed. The dead world that breathes Cryos was dead. No sunlight, no wind, just silence and ice. But as the team explored, they found signs of ancient cities buried in snow, towers made of crystal, symbols carved into stone. Then the ground opened. A hidden elevator pulled them down, as if it had been waiting. Samira whispered, I don't like this. Blake raised his weapon. Too late now. The last guardian deep underground. They met him, the one called Cryos. But he wasn't a man. He was a creature made of stone and light. Eyes glowing, voice like thunder. He looked at them for a long time before speaking. You wear the old armor. You carry the fire. But are you ready to burn for it? They told him about Earth, the Queen, the signal. He listened, then turned away. Foolish humans. You think victory is killing one beast? You haven't seen the source. Samira stepped forward. We're not afraid. Cryos turned back. Good, then I'll show you what fear really is. The truth revealed. He brought them to a great hall. The walls came alive with images, history, memories, horror. Long ago, before the Zolvar, there was another empire. It spanned hundreds of galaxies. They built the Zolvar as weapons-perfect machines, but the machines grew too strong. They turned on their creators. The empire fell. Only a few survived, the old guard. Cryos was the last. You killed a queen, he said. But she was just one voice. There are others. And one, the Prime mind is awakening. Ilara paled. The Prime? Cryos nodded. The one who commands all hives. The one no one has ever seen. If it rises, the universe dies. The warning back on Earth, scientists detected something horrifying. One of the 5 remaining hive signals had vanished. Not destroyed. Absorbed. Something was combining the hives. Growing. Leo sent the message to Blake. They showed it to Cryos. The stone giant stared at the display. Then the Prime has begun. Blake stepped forward. What do we do? Cryos looked at him. You go where no human has gone. To the place even I cannot reach. The center of the void. The place where minds go mad. The gift before they left. Cryos gave them something strange. A black crystal, floating in air, humming softly. This holds a thought. The last memory of my people. A weapon or a warning. Blake took it. It was cold, heavy. He didn't know how it worked, but he knew they would need it. Cliffhanger. Ending. The eyes in the dark as the Valor left Cryos and jumped into deep space. Something followed. A ship. No heat. No signal, but its shape was clear. XAL single quotes VAR. It had no queen, yet it moved. It watched, and deep inside, a new voice whispered, humanity. So loud, so bright, so delicious. The Prime mind was waking, the hives were merging. And deep in the galaxy's heart, something darker than death was waiting. The humans had come too far to turn back now. Drifting into darkness, the UE's valor traveled deeper into the galaxy. Past every charted system, past the reach of human satellites, past logic. There were no stars here. No planets, just void, endless black. Leo looked at the map. This part of space shouldn't exist. Samira replied, and yet here we are. Every second, the ship felt heavier. The silence around them wasn't normal. It wasn't peaceful. It felt like something was listening. The black beacon, after 13 hours in the void. They found it, a tower, floating alone in the dark. No planet, no structure. Just a black tower as tall as a city, spinning slowly. It pulsed. Not with light, but with sound, a single tone, repeating every 6 seconds. Taji scanned it. Same frequency as the first Zalvar signal. Alara stepped closer. But this is older, much older. This may be where the signal was born. Entering the tower against every warning from logic and fear, they entered the beacon. Inside, gravity pulled in strange ways. Time felt slow. The walls were alive with static. Flickers of memories, screams. The place was not made by machines. It was made by minds. Cryos's gift. The floating crystal began to glow inside Blake's pocket. It's reacting to something, he said. Then the door behind them closed. They were inside now. No going back. The Prime speaks. They reached the central chamber. No light. Just a voice. Not loud. But everywhere. You bring fire to the dark. Curious, but fire dies. And you humans burn too fast. Blake raised his weapon. We killed your queen, the voice chuckled. You killed an echo. A shadow. I am the source. I am not a queen. I am the silence between stars. Samira whispered. It's aware. The Prime Mind wasn't a program. It was a living intelligence, and it was watching. Earth. Visions of the end. The Prime didn't attack them physically. It attacked their minds. Each of them was shown a vision. Blake saw Earth in flames. His own. Hands pressing the launch codes. Samira saw her brother, once thought dead, speaking in Zalvar voice. Leo saw machines tearing apart Mars, again and again. Taju saw his own body, aged, forgotten, drifting in space. Ilara saw herself becoming like Cryos, immortal, alone, and useless. They screamed. Fell to their knees. Only one thing stopped the visions. Cryos's crystal. It floated from Blake's hand, and exploded in light. The room shook. The visions stopped. The Prime screamed. The escape. The tower began to collapse. But not from damage, from rage. The Prime Mind had felt fear, and it didn't like it. The team ran, fighting. Gravity shifts. Crumbling walls, and collapsing time pockets. They barely reached the ship. Leo was last. The door shut behind him. Just before the tower vanished into itself like it had never existed. They escaped. But they weren't alone. Chased by shadows, dozens of dark ships appeared behind them. Zalvar. But wrong. Twisted. No hives. No signals. These were Prime board. Pure machines. Hunters. They didn't speak. They didn't scan. They followed. Blake shouted, "Jump now!" The ship activated its FTL, drive barely escaping the swarm, but not fast enough. One ship followed them through. Boarded. The Valor was breached mid-jump. Alarms blared. Lights flickered. A single machine had entered. It didn't look like the others. It had no eyes, no mouth. Just spinning blades and twitching claws. Samira tried to trap it in the engine bay. It moved faster than thought. Alara screamed. Taj shot it with alien rounds. It absorbed the hit. Finally, Blake grabbed one of the original vault weapons and stabbed it through the core. It melted into black mist. But before it died, it whispered, "The Prime sees you now." Earth in panic. Back on Earth, strange things began to happen. Satellites blinked offline. The moon's orbit shifted slightly. A power plant in Russia melted down without heat. And a single word appeared across all global comms: silence. Panic spread. The Defense Council tried to hide the news, but the people knew something worse was coming. Blake sent a message from deep space to Earth's command. We've seen the Prime Mind. We've faced its voice. It is real. And it is waking. We need more ships, more teams. Use the vaults. Use Cryos' knowledge. The old war never ended. It only paused. This is no longer about one planet. It's about everything alive. Cryos' returned suddenly. A signal came from behind them. A second ship. Not Earth. Not XAL single quotes VAR.KRYOS. He had followed them in his own vessel, one made of stone and energy, powered by thought itself. You survived. That means you're ready. He transferred a data package. This is the map to the Prime's location, a place where space breaks, a place where even gods go mad. Samira asked, "Why help us?" Cryos answered, "Because you're the first species in 10,000 years to hurt it, and the last that might stop it." The final map, the coordinates showed one final location, a black star. No light, no orbit, just a pull dot in its center. The Prime Core. The birthplace of the Zalvar, the home of the Hive. Blake looked at the map, then at his team. They were tired, scarred, changed, but ready. We go there. We end this. Cliffhanger ending. The whisper in the void as the Valor powered up for the last jump. Ilara heard something strange, a whisper, not from outside, but inside her mind. One of you belongs to me now. She turned. No one had spoken, and yet, something had. Arrival at the Black Star. The UE's Valor arrived at the edge of reality. Before them was a black sphere larger than Earth's sun. It didn't shine. It didn't move. It pulled everything around it. This was the Prime Core. The place where the Zalvar were born. Even Cryos kept his ship at a distance. "I cannot follow you in," he said. "If I step closer, my mind will shatter. The Prime guards this place with more than machines." Blake nodded. "We go in alone." Entering the Prime Zone, as the Valor entered the Prime Core's pull, every system on the ship began to fail. Lights blinked. Artificial gravity stuttered. Time stretched. 5 seconds felt like 5 minutes. Leo screamed. "Our clocks are breaking. Time isn't real here." Samira activated the vault stabilizer. It worked for now. They passed into a field of silence. No stars. No color. The motion. Only a shape ahead. A giant sphere. Cracked and bleeding black mist. Inside, it was the Prime Mind. The Hive. The sphere opened. Slowly. Inside, millions of machines floated. Zalvar, but none moved. They were asleep. Held in place like statues. Then, one eye opened, huge, burning red. The Prime Mind had seen them. "So the little lights have come to die." The voice wasn't in the air. It was inside their minds. Ilara gripped her head. "It's trying to rewrite our thoughts." Taj fired a weapon. The blast vanished in the air. "You cannot harm me. You walk in my memory. You breathe in my thought." The room of origin suddenly. The Valor was pulled inside. Not destroyed. Invited. They found themselves inside a vast chamber filled with symbols, glowing wires, and alien machines. At the center, a throne of metal and bone. Blake walked forward. There, he saw something impossible. A human skeleton fused into the throne. It was old, ancient. Leo scanned it. This DNA. It's Earth origin, but over 100,000 years old. Samira whispered. "What if humans didn't just come from Earth?" The Prime responded. "You are not the first. You are the last." The forgotten war. The Prime Mind showed them the past. Vision. A great war. Not between Zalvar and their creators, but between ancient humans and the machines they built. The first humans had reached the stars long ago, but they tried to control the Prime Mind. They failed. The Prime erased their worlds and waited for time to pass. Until now. You returned to my grave. You woke me again. Cryos' crystal floated from Blake's pack. It glowed. The Prime paused. Ah, the stone of memory. You bring their last curse. Ilara turned suddenly. Ilara stepped forward. Her eyes were black. Her voice was not hers. You see only what it wants you to see. Everyone froze. Blake raised his weapon. Ilara? She smiled. No, I am what lies beneath the Prime, the deeper mind, the hidden will. You think the Prime is the final enemy? The walls cracked. The throne shattered. The Prime was a lock. I am what was sealed. The real enemy had been hiding beneath the Prime. Ilara collapsed, and the core changed. The deeper enemy, the source mind. Room folded. The team now stood in a place that wasn't space. It was like standing inside a giant brain. Pulses of light passed through the walls. A voice echoed. They called me the Source. I created the Prime. I created the hives, and now I will consume you. This was the final truth. The Prime wasn't the god. It was the servant. The Source was the true master, and it had woken up. The final test. The Source flooded the chamber with nightmare. It showed them thousands of Earths all burning. A future where Zalvar ruled every planet. A future where humans were bred for parts. You are weak, it said. You fight with light. I am the dark. But something stirred inside Blake. A thought he had held since the beginning. We don't fight because we are strong, he said. We fight because we refuse to die quietly. He held the crystal high. It exploded in white fire. The Source screamed. The human code inside. The crystal was more than memory. It held a virus. Not digital. Mental. A weapon created by Cryos' people and ancient humans together. A final strike against the Source's mind. It tore through the chamber, burning. The black veins breaking thought walls. The Source cried out. You were not meant to return. You were not meant to remember. But they did, and now it was vulnerable. The escape and the promise. The valor escaped the collapsing core as the Source's body tore apart. Every Zalvar inside it melted. Every Prime-born ship went silent. For the first time in 1,000 centuries, the Hive God was quiet, but not dead. Blake knew it. We heard it, we delayed it, but we didn't finish it. Samira asked, then what now? Blake looked at the stars returning outside the window. Now we build, we remember. And next time we finish the war. Back on Earth, the message reached Earth. The Source exists. The war is older than our planet, but we are still here. And now we know the truth. All over the world, vaults opened, more teams were trained, a new program was born. Project Memory Flame. Earth had seen the true enemy, and Earth would be ready. Cliffhanger ending. The surviving queen far across space. In a distant system, a single Zalvar queen stirred. She had not joined the Prime. She had hidden. Now, as she opened her eyes, she whispered, the Source is weak, but I am free. And a new hive began to grow. The queen awakens in the broken remains of the Taina system. A dark moon cracked open. Inside was a chamber untouched for 30,000 years. At its center lay a tall figure, half machine, half organic, curled like a sleeping insect. A heartbeat began. Second, then her eyes opened, glowing green. Alive. The Prime is gone, she said aloud. The Source is weak. She rose from the dark pool. It is my time now. This was Queen Virex, once exiled by the Prime mind. Now free and furious. A new hive is born. Queen Virex reached into the minds of sleeping machines around the dead system. Thousands responded. Old models, broken soldiers, rusted drones, but she rebuilt them with new code, with her code. You are no longer hive-bound. You are mine. They obeyed. Faster, smarter, independent. She didn't want a hive that shared thought. She wanted leaders, generals, creators. Virex was not rebuilding the old Zalvar. She was evolving them, and humans were her first target. Earth detects a New threat on Earth. In the Project Memory flame base beneath Antarctica, alarm sounded. Leo stared at the screen. Something's moving in the Tana system. We had no signs of activity there for decades. Taj frowned. Tana was destroyed in the old war. It's supposed to be dead. But the readings didn't lie. An energy signature, similar to Zolvar but altered. Stronger. Blake joined them via link from orbit. Prepare for recon. We'll check it ourselves. The Shadow team assembles. Blake gathered a new strike team. Shadow Unit 0. Blake, commander. Samira, lead strategist. Taj, engineer and weapons. Leo, systems analyst. Nia, new recruit, psychic potential. Unit 9, a captured Zolvar drone, reprogrammed to serve. They boarded the UE's Eclipse, a faster stealth-class ship. Their mission: investigate the Tana signal, locate the source, and confirm if the Prime or something worse was returning. But none of them were ready for what they would find. Arrival at Tana. Eclipse reached the edge of Tana space. There were no living planets. No radio signals. Just ruins and thousands of floating structures. But every single one was powered. And moving. Samira gasped. That's a new hive. It's not the Prime's design. Leo scanned the frequency. Different coding, not shared thought, but linked strategy. It's like every drone is its own commander. Suddenly, the ship was pinged. Not hacked. Pinged. Then, a voice came through the system. Welcome, humans. I expected you. Varex speaks. Queen. Varex appeared on the main screen. Her face was smooth, inhuman, yet somehow regal. I do not hide like the Prime. I do not lie like the Source. I face my enemies. Blake stepped forward. You're another queen, one of the old hive. Varex smiled. I was more. I am more. I chose independence. The Prime feared me. The Source locked me away. But now I am free, and I will rebuild the stars. She paused. Join me, or die like the ones before you. The battle begins. Blake refused. Vrex ended the transmission. Moments later, dozens of ships appeared, sleek, silent, fast. The Eclipse was hit. Blake ordered evasive maneuvers. Samira launched decoy drones. Taj activated the vault cannon. The battle was fierce. Leo screamed. These aren't normal Zolvar. They learn with every hit. One drone tore through the hull. Nia grabbed it psychically and crushed it, mid-air shocking even herself. They escaped, but barely. And with heavy damage. Nia's awakening, back in the medbay. Nia sat alone. Her hands trembled. I heard them, the machines. I didn't just feel them, I understood them. Samira checked her brain scan. The signal was clear. Nia had partial hive link capability. Not like the old Zolvar queens. Something new, a mutation. Blake looked at her. You might be the only one who can understand Varex, or stop her. Cryos. Returned suddenly. A gate opened near the ship. Cryos appeared. His stone ship glowed brighter than before. He looked worried. You've awakened her. Blake nodded. Varex. Cryos shook his head. She was worse than the Prime. She believed in evolution without limits. No control, no balance, only survival. He gave them a gift, a map to Varex's core world, and a key, an old weapon built to target rogue hive minds. She can't be reasoned with. You must strike her heart. Decision time. Back on Earth, the council debated. Some wanted to attack Varex immediately. Others feared waking more hive. Blake stood before them. We don't wait. Every minute we delay, she grows stronger. This is not like the last war. She plans, she adapts. He paused. And next time, she won't let us escape. The vote passed. Earth would go to war again. But this time, it wouldn't just be survival. It would be about who controlled the future. Varex's secret weapon. Meanwhile, Varex stood in her throne room. She watched Earth's signal rise. She knew war was coming, but she had a surprise. Deep in her chamber, A pod opened. Inside was something no one expected. A human child alive, connected to hive machinery. Eyes glowing, she whispered to the child, "You are my voice on Earth, and soon they will listen to you, or fall." Cliffhanger ending. The seed on Earth in the final scene. A hidden lab on Earth, long abandoned, suddenly powered up. A black machine inside it activated. It whispered in a soft voice, "Signal received. Queen Virex confirmed. Begin internal awakening." The hive had already planted a seed on Earth, and no one knew. The Earth breach. It began in New Delhi. A hospital's power flickered, then a nearby data center exploded. Hive code spread through underground networks. Machines woke. Satellites turned. Leo shouted from the command deck in Antarctica, "We've been breached. The hive isn't just in space, it's inside Earth." Samira replied, "Virex must have planted something here long ago. A sleeper system." Suddenly, security bots across multiple cities went offline and came back reprogrammed. They now obeyed her. Earth was not the battlefield. Earth was already part of the hive. The child spy in an underground shelter in Siberia. Project Memory. Flame discovered the impossible. A child about 12 years old, standing calmly. Eyes glowing faint green. His voice was soft. "Queen Virex says hello." The team was frozen. They couldn't shoot. Blake appeared through hologram. "Secure the child. No harm." But the child whispered something and vanished in a flash of hive tech. Leo trembled. "She can teleport from space to Earth. We're out of time." Final strategy. Divide and strike in orbit. Blake met with Cryos. "We need to hit her world. But Earth can't survive another attack." Cryos floated in thought. "We split. One team strikes the core. Another protects the Earth seed." Blake nodded. Two fronts. Team A, Blake, Taj, Leo, and Cryos. Assault on Virex's core. Team B, Samira, Nia, Unit 9, and Earth forces. Defend Earth and destroy the hive seed. If one failed, everything was lost. Assault on Virex's world. Team A reached the world of Darva, Virex's new hive core. It wasn't a planet. It was a living structure pulsing, growing, wrapped in black towers and silver vines. Cryos handed Blake the mind Piercer, a weapon built to destroy Queen-level thought. "It will work, but only if you reach her throne." Thousands of drones launched to stop them. Taj rigged the Eclipse to cloak. Leo hacked nearby systems to open a landing path. They reached the inner hive, but time was running out. The Earth defense on Earth. The hive seed had reached stage 2. Buildings started rearranging themselves. People vanished in waves of black mist. Samira led the charge in Tokyo, where the seed had made its home. Nia touched the ground, her eyes glowing, reading the hive thoughts. "It's scared. It knows we're coming." She connected with the machines, feeding them false orders. Unit 9 placed the last bomb near the hive root. "Ready to burn," it said. But just as they activated the charge, the child appeared again. The child's choice. The child looked at Nia. "You're like me. Not machine, not human, something new." Nia stepped forward. "You don't have to follow her. She saved me," the child said. "Gave me life. A name," Samira spoke softly. "You can choose another name." Silence. Then the child smiled sadly. "Tell her I'm sorry." He touched the hive root and overloaded it from inside. A massive wave of light shot across the sky. The Earth seed died. The final confrontation back in Darva. Blake reached Virex's throne. She waited, tall, armored, glowing with hive power. "You've come far," she said, "but you cannot kill what adapts." Blake raised the mind piercer. Virex laughed and attacked with pure thought. Memories hit him. His family, his pain, his fear, but he held firm. "You know why you'll lose?" he whispered. "Because you forgot the one thing Hive never had." "What?" "Free will." He fired. Virex falls. The mind piercer struck her chest. The weapon didn't destroy her body, it destroyed her mind. Her connections broke. Her control shattered. Across space, Hive ships went silent. On Earth, all infected machines dropped. Virex fell to her knees. I wanted to be more, Blake replied. You were never more. You were just afraid. She dissolved into dust. Aftermath. The war was over. For now, Cryos vanished. His mission complete. Earth was safe but changed forever. New rules were passed. New defenses built. And Nia was named Earth's first Mindwalker commander. Her job, protect against future Hive threats and understand the new powers humans had begun to unlock. Final scene. The Source watches in the void between galaxies. Something stirred. A tiny spark, a whisper. They think this is the end. The Source, wounded but not dead, watched from far beyond space. Let them celebrate. Let them rebuild. The second awakening will be louder. The end.